Okay, welcome to the call, everyone. My name is Jana Garcia, and here Rod is joining us. So I guess he got done with what he needed to do,
I'm
and
done.
we welcome all the Rockin team members to the call, and we're really excited to bring this information to you tonight. It's been quite a while since we've done a call specifically on a weeknight. Rod, can you go ahead and mute yourself?
Sure.
Okay. Uh, it's been a while since we've done a call on a weeknight where it was just us. But we miss you guys, and we want to start doing them more regularly for you. We have fabulous other leaders that lead calls as well, and we encourage you to get on any and all those calls if you can. But I know sometimes that you'd like to hear from us, and we really like doing the calls too. So we're going to try to do more. We have a very busy schedule with our kids, and basketball season is just about over. So I think we can probably schedule more calls for you guys. Um, so we're going to get right into the topic at hand, and that is fitting Plexus into your very busy schedules. And so I will start by saying that this company and network marketing in general is a very, very lucrative business to be in. It is definitely worth your time, regardless of how busy that you are. And I believe that anyone can fit this into their schedule. And so Rod is on here because Rod works full time, and I stay at home, so he can bring a different perspective to this. However, even though I have maybe more time than a lot of people do that work, I also do talk to a lot of people in the business that don't have as much time as me. And I figure out what they're doing and how they're making their business succeed, even though they may be working full time and they may have little kids at home or whatever the case may be. So I will start out saying that, first of all, I want to say the contest will be in the Rockin group after the call. And at the very end of the call, I'll give you a code word. And when I post the code word or the graphic in the Rockin group asking you what you learned about the call, then you can post the code word that I'll tell you at the end, and then tell us what you learned in the comments. And then you will win, probably going to do a choice of the X Factor, a Mega X, or some 96 shakes. So you can choose one of those three, and I will get those sent to you if you are the winner in that drawing. So I hope everybody participates in that. It's really exciting to give away prizes. And so I'm doing that to encourage you guys to be on the call. We get asked all the time if the calls are recorded, and I totally understand that there's times that you may not be able to be on the call live for whatever reason that you have. We do encourage that you be on the call whenever possible, because first of all, it's more exciting, it's more fun. You are much more apt to be on a call if you schedule it and you have it live and you're on it, rather than going back and listening to a recording. And I know that because I'm guilty of it myself. There will be calls that I want to watch, and other things, take priority over that. And sometimes you just never get around to watching that. That's some reasons. But the other reason is because, it is very valuable for you to be on these calls for your business, and also for your teams to be on these calls. And if you're on the calls, your teams will be more likely to be on the call. So I may be talking about something that doesn't pertain to you, or something that you already know a million times, but it makes a big difference if you're on these calls and you can go back and talk to your team and say, hey team, what did you learn about this call tonight? I was on there, and I encourage people to be on live and invite them to be on with you. So first of all, I will say that time, not having enough time and not being able to afford it are the two number one things that I hear when I talk to people about Plexus, people who are not in Plexus yet. And, it's a hard objective to both of those are two hard objectives to overcome. But if you can figure out the right things to say, you can say, well, I couldn't afford it either. But when you find, 3 people that can do it with you, once you figure out that you love these products and you start talking about them to people, it's really easy to get people to do this with you. And then, your products are paid for. And so the other thing about the time is that, I tell people that there are people that are way busier than you that make time for this and they succeed, and they're really glad they did. It is so worth it to use your time for this. And I know that when you're an ambassador and you love the products and somebody tells you that they can't afford it, we all just cringe and we're like, but you don't understand. If you could just see how good you would feel, if you could just see how healthy you would feel and how much better your life would feel if you could try these products, you wouldn't say you couldn't afford it. You would make a way to afford it. And so being in the position that I'm in and seeing, other jewels and other diamonds that had much, much busier lives than me, when I hear people that are, just starting out, or they're silver or they're gold, and they say they don't have time, it's the same feeling I get. It's a cringe feeling that I think, oh, but if you just realized how much freedom you could have, how much you could, enjoy your life more, and you could be helping other people and giving more and having more time later, it would be so worth it for you to sacrifice some time now and see what you could feel when that freedom comes. And so it's kind of the same thing that I cringe when people say they don't have enough time. And so everyone needs to realize that, everyone has the same 24 hours a day. Everyone has the same week. Everyone has 7 days in a week. And so there are people that are more busy than me. But there's people that are more busy than you. And I know people that are extremely busy, and I don't know how they keep up with their life, and they do extremely well at Plexus. And probably the difference between them and somebody who says they can't fit it into their life is making it a priority. And I think that's the thing. You have to make sure that you're making Plexus a priority in your life, because anything that you want and anything that's important to you, if you don't make it a priority, it's not going to happen. And so if you make something a priority, it's going to be one of the first things that you do in your day. And so, when you have your time scheduled, you're going to make this a priority. So it's just like if you were going to do a workout schedule. If you get up and you go about your day and you say, well, I'm just going to work out when I have time, you'll never get around to it, because you're never going to find that time to do it unless you make that a priority and you put it on your calendar that you're going to do that. So we're going to talk about calendars, and we're going to talk about how that can make such a big difference. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is calendars, organization, and sacrifice. So obviously, if you want to put something in your life, you're going to have to make other sacrifices of things to take out of your life. Okay, so all of this is going to depend on what level that you want to you want to work your business. And so hold on just a second. Okay, sorry, I have a barking dog in the background and I had to get a kid to take care of that for me. It's totally distracting. Sorry. Okay, so he's upstairs. So we have 2 things we're going to go over, and that is sacrifice and organization. So if you're going to, maybe it is a favorite show that you have that you're watching at night that you want to give up for a certain amount of time. Maybe you need to DVR that favorite show and watch that at a time where you have more time, just like a call that you're going to watch later. Watch that TV show later. Watch it at the end of the day when you've already done all of your income producing activities that we're going to talk about. Watch that show at that time. And then that way, that all your other stuff is going to get done first. So the sacrifice may be temporary, or it may be something that you decide you don't want to do in your life anymore. Maybe maybe TV is something that you want to give up. If you talk to people that are really serious about network marketing, they don't watch TV. They just don't. They don't want to. And it's not something like for me. I don't want to watch TV because I want to help people grow their business. I would rather do that. To me, that's more interesting. If I still wanted to watch TV now, I have time. I could watch TV if I wanted to, but that doesn't appeal to me anymore. I don't want to do that. So right now it might be a sacrifice, but later it's going to be something that you don't want to do because it's not improving your life and it's not improving the lives of others. So if it's not doing one of those two things, it's a sacrifice. It needs to go. Okay, so like I said, it's depending on what level you are. Your organization and your calendar and your sacrifice is going to look a lot different depending on what level you are and what your goals are. So if you're wanting to move really fast with Plexus and you're really wanting to replace your income and create complete freedom later on, then your sacrifices are going to be bigger and your organization has to be even stronger. Okay, now I will say, I will be completely transparent and with you and honest and tell you that I am not the best time manager in this world. I am working on that every day. And I have made Plexus a priority because it's something that I love to do. So it's not hard for me. It doesn't feel like a sacrifice to me. Okay, so, but I have learned a lot about time management in the 2.5 years, almost 3 years that I've been doing this. I've learned a lot about time management, and I work on my own goals daily on how I can better organize my time. So the first thing I will say is you really need to get a calendar. A calendar is something that I have had since I started Plexus, and it is really a good way for you to keep up with everything that you're doing business related. And you can also use it to organize your personal life as well. The more organized you can be with your personal life or with your business life, the more successful you're going to be. Okay, so I have the kind of calendar that is a spiral, and it shows the whole month on each page of every month. It shows you the whole month, the 30 or 31 days or whatever days are in that month. It shows you, so you can look down on that month and you can fill in that calendar. Okay, so organization plays a big part in time management, and you can put on that calendar this is how I started. When I first started getting customers, I would put a certain color into that day when they bought their product. So if they bought a 7-day on the 5th, I would put Sandy bought a 7-day on this day, and then that way I would know that I needed to check on her a few days later and see how she's liking her products. So as you're growing your team and as you're growing your business, you're also going to need, it may be in the same kind of calendar. I have a different kind of calendar, but the kind that where you can see your daily and you can write down in 15-minute or 30-minute increments what you're going to do during that time. So this call is for people that are really, really busy, okay? You may have lots of kids that you're taking places. You may have a full-time job. You may work odd hours. But if you have a calendar like that where you can write down increments, you can work your business into the little places in your life to where during the day you may have 15 minutes before work. If you don't have 15 minutes before work, get up 15 minutes earlier. It's worth it for you to sacrifice those 15 minutes of sleep so that you can work your business. Then if you have 15 minutes at lunch, you can work your business 15 minutes then. You can work your business on the way home or when you get home. If you're not driving, you can work it on your way home. But if you're driving, you can work it when you get home. And then you can work another 15 minutes before you go to bed. Remember, we talked about sacrifice. So you may have to sacrifice certain things during this time. Maybe you have to sacrifice 15 minutes of your lunch break. Maybe you have to sacrifice by getting up 15 minutes early. Maybe you have to sacrifice by going to bed 15 minutes later. Maybe you need to ask the people in your house how they can help you. You know, if you watch a lot of the Eric Worre videos and read his book, which I love his stuff. I mean, I follow him daily. Anything he does, I watch and listen. And he will say talk to the members of your family. If you don't have a real supportive spouse, you know, it's because they don't believe that this is gonna help you. They don't believe of what it's gonna do for your family. So you need to talk to them about, like, you know, give me a certain amount of time that I can work my business, and I'll show you that I can succeed. And you put that in your mind that you're gonna do it, and you're gonna show that unsupportive spouse what you can do. And so ask them, if you know, if I make family time a priority, if I do the things that you're really wanting me to do in the family, can I have this time, you know, outside of this? And show them your calendar. If you're organized and you show somebody a calendar and show them how little time that you're actually spending, and that it's all thought out and processed and right there, that they'll be a lot more supportive about it. They may not believe that it's going to work for you. I mean, I had a spouse that didn't believe it was going to work for me. But you know, he loved me enough to let me do what I wanted to do at the time, and then he was really happy that he did after we started becoming successful. And then he wanted to do it with me, which he'll talk about in just a second. But so we're going to talk a little bit about what you're going to do during those little 15-minute increments. And this is for people that, you know, are really busy and they may just only have 15 minutes here and there. And then we'll talk a little bit more, if you have a little bit more time, how you can spend your time. So what I have is going through, first of all, when you have your calendar, you're going to have your two calendars. You're going to have your open calendar to where you're writing down your customers, your prospects, and all that, what days you're going to talk to them. We'll talk about that in a second. But you're also going to have a notebook that has a list of people on that notebook. So this list of people are people that you may be friends with on Facebook. You may know them outside of Facebook. They may be people that you go to church with, or your kids go to school with, or they may be a neighbor, but they're people that you know could do this business really, really well. Okay, they're likable. They have influence over people. They may be self-starters. You know that they run the PTA at your school. You know, they're leaders. They're people that you know are going to be really, really great once they get into Plexus. So you're going to have a list of people. We say that people should have a list of 100 people. Most people have contact base of about 450 people in their life, is what statistics show. You may not have those all as Facebook friends, but in your life, if you went through the whole list. Now, also keep in mind that all the things that I'm talking about, you can go to your welcome pack, the new welcome packs that are out. They have ways to, like, memory joggers and things where it'll help you think of people. You could just go to your contact base on your phone, and you could get a lot of people from that list, your email list, your contact base on your email list, and then also your Facebook friends, your Instagram friends. If you have other social media outlets, all those friends can make up this list of 100, at least 100 people. If you can't think of 100 people right now, start with 50 and keep adding to that list. Okay, we're going to talk about what to do with that list. Okay, so the first 15 minutes, you're going to get up and you're going to check your text messages for people that you're going to be contacting. You're going to check those messages to see if anybody messaged you, if your leader messaged you, if your team members messaged you, if you have a team. You're going to check emails to see, same reason. You're going to check team groups to see what's on the team groups that I need to do. Spend a few seconds on there welcoming people, congratulating people, because you're going to want them to do the same thing for you when you have the same success. You're going to want that too. But that only takes a few minutes to do that. It only takes a few minutes to welcome people and congratulate people. Don't spend your time on Facebook scrolling your regular news feed. Don't ever do that. Okay, so during the first 15 minutes, that's what you should be doing: checking groups, checking your text messages, checking your email messages, and answering those. Okay, so when I talk about your team, the time that you're going to spend on your team, this is whether you have one team member or whether you have 30 level ones or you have 50 level ones. Your level one people are your first priority, okay? They are your responsibility. Now, we are all independent ambassadors. We are all responsible for our own success in this company. However, once you sponsor somebody, it is your responsibility to show them what they can do and to pour into them. And I only say that meaning that it's your responsibility to, that's what's gonna be the outcome of your success is how much you pour into those people. That's why it's your responsibility. Because if you help your people become successful, you're going to become successful. So take that on in your mindset. Take that on, that is my responsibility. When I sponsor a level 1, it is my responsibility to make sure that they know about the team calls, that they know about company-wide events, that they know about anything that they need, that I need to know, they need to know. Okay, so take that responsibility on for your team. So whenever there's a team call, whenever there's maybe an opportunity event or a training event in their area, which may be your area, maybe not, but try to connect people to those things. You should also be connecting people to each other. So if you're silver, all 3 of your silver people should be in a chat together and with you, and you should be connecting them to each other. Those 3 should be friends with each other. They should be in each other's customer groups if they have them. They should be in your customer group if you have one, and then they should be in your chat, okay? I can say one of the number 1 things for my success as an ambassador, getting to where I am now, is the relationships that I have with my level 1s and the relationships that I've created between all of my level 1s with each other and with their teams and with my teams, all interacting with each other, because that brings success. People want to stay when there's a culture. That's what brings culture. So when you're gold and you have a team group, they already know each other because they've already been in a chat with each other. They're already wanting to support each other. They're already encouraging each other, okay? So you've got to get these connections formed, and that's where part of your time is going to be spent. So during the first 15 minutes, you're going to be tagging people in any calls that are on the groups. You're going to be welcoming people, encouraging people. You're going to be checking text messages and following up with anybody that has messaged you when you wake up. Okay, your next 15 minutes may be at lunchtime. Also, I will say in the first 15 minutes, also post. And that's what my second one is, but I think you should also take a few minutes to post in the first 15 minutes as well. And this sounds like a lot, but you can do all this in 15 minutes. If you purposely, now if you have to check your whole news feed and all that, then it's going to be longer than 15 minutes. But if you just purposely stick to this, what I'm telling you, it shouldn't take you longer than 15 minutes, okay? So you're going to post in your customer group or on your regular wall in the morning when you wake up, or both, okay? But you're not just going to post anything. You're going to purposely post things that are going to draw people to you. So if you should be in a lot of customer groups. You should be friends with a lot of other ambassadors, and so it should be easy for you to find these posts, before and after testimonials, product education. I will say that people are drawn to the before and after testimonials more than they are anything else, except for your personal reviews of the products. Whether it's, I love my pink drink, it tastes really great, I have tons of energy. That's what people want to hear first. They want to hear your personal testimony. So you put that out there as much as you possibly can on your customer group and your regular wall. Okay? But don't just post Plexus, post other stuff too. So you may post a before and after in your customer group in the morning, and then post something encouraging on your regular wall that's personal. Maybe a picture of your kids, or it may be something about your spouse or whatever. One thing I heard that was really good one time is a tip from people that say, you're trying to draw people that have interest in all different areas. Your interest may be that you like to crochet, but not all your Facebook friends will like to crochet, okay? So what you need to do is you need to have rotating posts that are going to be all about your life and Plexus, but that way when people look at your stuff, they're not going to just see Plexus, they're not going to just see crocheting or dogs or whatever it is that you have the hobby in, but they're also going to see other words. So get your top things that are important to you and write those things down. So your faith might be the most important thing to you. Your spouse may come next. Your children may come next. Your hobby comes next. Your Plexus business comes next. So you have 5 things that you've got going on here, okay? So you're going to rotate through these 5. And I'm talking about on your regular wall. Rotate through these 5. If you can post all 5 of those in one day, Even better, you're drawing in people to every aspect of your life. You're drawing people to your faith. You're drawing people to your spouse, or your relationship. You're drawing people to that have kids. You're drawing people to your hobby, and you're drawing people to your business. Okay, so you're going to make those purposeful posts, and you're going to post those passionately. People want to follow fun, passionate people. So make sure your posts are purposeful, and they're with the intent that it's not about me. This is about everyone else that's watching me. I want to bring stuff into other people's life, value into their life. Okay? People feel that when you're posting. The second 15 minutes will be the same thing, posting, but then the second 15 minutes, we're going to talk about interacting with people on Facebook. So instead of scrolling down Facebook, go back to your list, your 100 people list, and go to their page, the people that you're following, the people that you're prospecting, whether that be for the products or for the business, and go to their page and like their stuff, comment on their stuff, genuinely, go to the, if they have kids pictures, go like their kids pictures, go comment on their kids pictures, build relationships with people, and this can be done really quickly. If you have 100 people, do 20 of those people a day, and go to, I'm going to do this group of 20 on Mondays. I'm going to do this group of 20 on Tuesdays. Do it in groups, so then that way it doesn't take you as much time, but you're interacting with enough people to where if you're commenting and interacting with them, they're going to see your Plexus stuff, okay? So on the second 15 minutes, you're going to post again in your customer group or on your regular wall, rotate your 5, and then interact with people that you're prospecting and also your customers. Make sure you're interacting with your customers as well, because you want them to see your Plexus posts too. You want them to be drawn to the other products. You want them to be motivated. If they see your posting in your customer group or your regular wall, they're going to be motivated to continue taking their products. Even your teammates will do that. I mean, I still do that. If I see a post in Rod's group about somebody that, had tons of energy from their X Factor, well, what if I forgot to take my X Factor? I'm going to run in there and take it right then. So it encourages people to be really, really good about taking their products right on time every day. You have to take your products consistently every day. Everything we do has to be consistent every day, otherwise they're not going to work, right? So you're encouraging your team members and your prospects or your customers to take their products, and your prospects are taking they're watching your stuff, and they're wanting to buy, or they're wanting to join if they're doing it for the opportunity. On your Plexus posts, you can rotate those as well. You can talk about the business, and you can talk about the products. I always tell people, don't be salesy about it. I don't really like the phrase join my team. I think that kind of turns people off, so I don't use that very much. If I do, it's in a hashtag, because I don't want people to think that's all I'm posting about. But people more want to hear about the lifestyle, the lifestyle that you're living. So if you're working from your phone at the park, post a picture of your kids at the park and say, this is my work view, right? Even if you work a full-time job and you're at the park, after work, you can say, I can work from anywhere. That's what's so great about this, and post a picture of that. That's what draws people in more than join my team, is when you post pictures of your team at an event, and you're saying how much fun you're having, or you're encouraging each other on. I don't know how many people have come to me and said, I really want to join your Plexus team because it looks like so much fun. You have, so many people on your team that look like they're having fun. You're always posting pictures of you with other people having fun, and your Zoom calls, your pictures of your Zoom calls. People come to you, and they're drawn in by that. They want to see the lifestyle. So post the lifestyle, post about the products, and do it regularly, but also post your regular life as well. One thing I will say, it doesn't have anything to do with time, but make sure your posts are compliant. Remember that we cannot post anything about diseases. We cannot mention diseases. You can word around that. You can say gut issues. You can say discomfort. You can say things, blood sugar regulation. You can say things that our products say on the bottles, which is plenty. You can say that. People aren't going to sit there and go, well, I wonder what she means by that. No, they know what you mean by that. You just have to be careful the way you word things. So if you see a post that you don't think is compliant, it's got a celebrity in it, or if it's got any kind of disease in it, move on and go to the next one. There's plenty of them out there. I post in my customer group all the time, and I don't ever post anything that's like got any disease written in it. If I do, I take it out if somebody sees it, because I don't want to, I don't want to be a bad influence on my team. I want to post things that are compliant. So then we got the next 15 minutes. Okay, we've only done 30 minutes today. Okay, we've already posted twice. We've done a lot of income producing work during those 15 minutes. Okay, the next 15 minutes you're going to reach out to people. Okay, those can be reaching out. Think about it. You've got 15 minutes every day to do this. So you can do something different every day. On Mondays, you can reach out to new people on your list. You can private message them and say, hey, I've been watching your stuff on Facebook. You would be fabulous at what we do. You have so much influence and contacts, and your Facebook posts are always so positive and encouraging. You should really consider doing this, because this is an amazing company that's really growing fast. Something like that can be really, really easy. You've already been interacting with them, so they've been seeing your stuff. It's not going to be any shock that you do Plexus, okay? So you're going to keep on posting, but you're also going to reach out to people. And this is where you'll find your biggest success rate, is when you reach out to people, okay? Because people will come to you when they see your weight loss and they see your success, but when you go to them, you'll find even more success with that. So take the next 15 minutes, say, okay, on Monday I'm going to reach out to this person, on Tuesday I'm going to reach out to this group of people, and then also reach out to your team members and your customers. So you can spend that time following up with a customer, somebody who's shown interest in the products. Reach out to them and say, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Have you decided when you're going to start, when you're ready to start trying our products? When are you going to be ready to start doing this business? Because I'm ready to help you get started right away. Reaching out to people doesn't take that long, especially if you group those people and back to the organization, back to the calendar. Put in your calendar, I'm going to reach this 20 people on Monday. I'm going to reach out to this 20 people. Also reach out to your team members. If you're silver, reach out to each one of those people once a week during these 15-minute increments and say, how can I help you get more success with your business? What can I do? Can we have a 3-way call with a prospect of yours? Or let's set up a lunch. Let's go have lunch together. If you live local, let's go have lunch together, and we'll try to get my other 2 people to come too, and we'll have a brainstorming lunch how we can succeed with this company. So reaching out to those people during that time. And then the last 15 minutes, I'm going to say, follow up again right before you go to bed. You may have other messages during that time. Check your messages and see if you have messages from the time that you reached out earlier, and follow up with people. Follow up is on there twice because it's so important. You should be reaching out, but you should be following up at the same time. Follow up with your team, follow up with your customers, follow up with your prospects. Reaching out and following up is the best way you can spend your time for income producing activities. Okay, so you're going to draw people to you, you're going to reach out, and then you're going to follow up. And you can do all that in those 15-minute increments. Okay, so then once a week, I want you to add in an education, a longer education time, where you're going to watch a call. You're going to come on a call live like this one. You're going to call. We have like 2 or 3 calls a week that you can join in on, depending on who your upline is. And you're going to spend 30 minutes or 45 minutes, however long that call is, being on that call and educating yourself. Education is very important. If you don't have a call to go to, or there's not a call that week, you can always go to YouTube videos. I have a training group that you need to make sure that you're in, and it's called Rockin Training Videos. That group is full of videos that you can watch, and you can send people, your team, to watch to educate themselves. What I've done in that group, so that people don't have to just go on YouTube and just search for stuff, I have put on that group very important topics like comp plan, like customer group, like getting your business started, all kinds of different topics where that it doesn't get all jumbled up with videos, but I put them into one thread so that you can go find all the comp plan in that one thread. If you go watch that comp plan video, I found the best one that I thought was really good at explaining it very basically. If you'll go watch that, and then you'll watch the other comp plan videos that I put in the comments, you should have a pretty clear understanding of our comp plan at that moment. So take the time to go watch those videos. If you haven't seen the company comp plan video or the company opportunity video, that's a really good time to fit that in those calls. I think you should be doing at least one call a week. If you have a little bit more time, do more than that. The more of that you can do, it builds your belief, it builds your education. It's much easier for you to talk to other people about the business or the products when you believe in them and you know more about them. It's much, much easier, trust me. Okay, so earlier I said if you're really wanting to take your business to the next level, you should be adding self-education and self-growth into your daily routine. So in addition to these other income-producing activities, you should be spending time going into your back office, learning about the products, watching short YouTube videos about the products or about the company, the comp plan, whatever it is, you should be, or reading a self-improvement book. And that is huge. You don't know how many people that I have heard speak, and I listen to a lot of speakers every day, and they say that they were stuck in their business until they grew themselves and learned what they needed to do to be a better leader, to learn how to influence people better just in their daily life, even with just their Facebook posting. If you can learn to be more influential and you can learn to grow yourself, that will be the biggest improvement in your business that you can do. That will be the best use of your time in anything that you can do. Because once you do that, then these other things will come naturally, these reaching out to people, because you will be so excited about network marketing and about sharing about the business and about the product that you won't be able to help but reach out and make these sacrifices to grow your business. The other thing I will say about the calls is, and about the calendar, is that you need to fill up your calendar with events, and you need to fill up your calendar with calls that you're doing with other people, whether that's team members or prospects or your upline or whatever that is. You can fill up your calendar with these things, lunches, whatever you can do to fill up your calendar. Eric Worre will say if somebody comes to him and they say, I'm discouraged and my business is stuck, he'll say, let me see your calendar. And boy, when you hear that, you're like, wow, that is so true. If I showed you my calendar, most people would say, if I showed you my calendar right now, I'd be really embarrassed because it's empty. And so he would say, well, you want your business to grow? You need to fill up that calendar. You need to fill it up with what you're going to do purposely every day to grow that business. So, Rod, if you can jump on, I want to ask you a few questions about your business. We're getting close to the end, but I really want to hear from you. And as soon as I ask, I'm going to mute myself because you have some background. I don't know if it's you or me or both of us being on here.
Probably you want to mute yourself, and then I'll just
I'll
talk.
mute myself. But I'd just like for you to talk for a few minutes about having a full-time job and what kind of things you have to do to make your business work, being that you work from 8 to 5.
Okay. I think my team has gotten to know my schedule because I do work, 8 to 5. The things that you mentioned about, how you should start your day and when to post, I do that. I do that in the morning when I wake up. I'd like to post and also comment on people on my team and try to be encouraging there. But then during the day, I'm really, I have my job, but then I have my breaks as well. And those breaks is when I have to utilize my time wisely. Even if I want to go exercise and ride my bike or something, I'll have to allocate time prior to leaving the house, or maybe, like you said, taking that 15 minutes here or there to do what I need to do. And so answering the questions for my team members, talking to prospects, just going out and making contacts with people that I know and trying to build that relationship. All that takes time, but it's very doable, especially if you, if you have like we have kids that are very helpful. They do their chores around the house, and that allows you and me to do things that we need to do business wise. So it's been a priority for us because we've seen the blessings of the work and what Plexus has done for us, and we have other people on the team, succeeding as well. And so it's something that we kind of just fit our lifestyles to making Plexus a big part of it. I mean, I think you're probably the like Jana will show if we're driving somewhere and I'm driving. Jana's working. She's sitting next to me, and she might be chatting with somebody, or she's answering a question, or she's on with customer service, or whatever she's doing. We could be listening to an audio tape on in the car, and so there's always stuff that you can utilize your time wisely. And I learn a lot from Jana, just watching the way she, Jana's not a morning person, but she has adjusted her schedule because she used to be. She'd go to bed early and then, she'd get up a regular time. But now she's working later because, once you get the kids to bed, then you can spend more time with your team members and stuff. And then, then she likes to sleep in. So that's the blessing of working from home, I guess, is you have your own hours. And but when Jana works, she works. And just like myself, I tend to do things. I probably have more downtime than you because I allocate a lot of stuff, but I like to, take care of the kids, take care of the house. I like to work in my garden. I like to ride my bike. But when I'm out there, I have my phone with me, and I'll communicate with people. And I also I have my own schedule. I mean, I have a much smaller calendar than Janet has, but I do like to fill it in with things I need to do, and also track my numbers, and stuff, because some people, Jana encouraged me a long time ago, track your numbers, track to see what your points are for like this month, and then compare them with next month, when you're there. And so, when we have these conversations like, well, how's your business going? I can go back and say, well, last month I was at this point, and versus, this month I'm here. And so it kind of gives you a gauge of what you need to be doing. If things aren't working the way you want them to, then you have to shift gears, go back and see what your income producing activities are, and maybe reallocate, those to something different that's might work for you better. So it's just, you gotta have fun with the work. This is not something that you want to just say, oh, I gotta go post, or it becomes a chore. I enjoy posting stuff, and I enjoy interacting with my ambassadors. I think the one key thing that you said earlier that I was is you really, if you want to give up that time, watching TV. I have the TV on in my room all the time, but I like the background noise that's there. But if there's something that's really occupying a lot of your time, if you can just put that away for 30 days or longer, what you'll see is you're going to build momentum, and that momentum is really a key thing, because your team's going to start growing because you're spending time with them, and they really have to learn the business. They really need to know what they need to be doing every day. And so once you encourage your team and you're showing them what you're doing, and the time that you're putting into it, they're going to do the same. But if you build that momentum, I think it becomes a lot easier for your business, and it's easy to do. I think Eric Warren has that, the GoPro book, which he's telling you, put those things aside. And I know for a fact that when I do that, when I put things aside, things go much better. It's when I get distracted and I'm like, okay, I haven't done this or that, communicated with people on my team for a long time. That really affects them, because they'll think, well, I'm not feeling too good today, so I'm not going to even do anything. And just kind of check out for a while. And unfortunately, that doesn't work. I mean, just like if you go to a store or a business, you expect that door to be open, and for them to be there to answer questions for you. So in the same way, you just can't just walk away from your business and expect, for your business to continue. But anyway, it's all about duplication. I'm duplicating what Jana's been doing, and I have a great income doing that. So it's really not, there's nothing really special about, well, I can't do what she does because, I don't have the skills or whatever. When you listen to Jana now, I mean, she to me is like, MLM expert because she's got it up here. And, but she's had that for a long time. And I've mentioned this before when we first started doing these calls a couple of years ago. Jana wouldn't even have a piece of paper in front of her. She didn't have any notes, and she was just going off the top of her head because she knew what she was talking about because she was researching, she was reading testimonies, and she just knew Plexus really well. And the only way that you become that way is you have to invest some time. And I have to really say that I commend my wife for what she's done. I mean, stay-at-home mom, and she's like, she's not. I always say she's not the same person that she was when I first met her, or nor is the same person she was just a few years ago. But I see what she's doing is a blessing for our family, but also see it for her. It's really it gave her a lot of encouragement, and I guess filled something that she never had because I think she always we've always talked about having a business, but it never happened. But when this occurred, she kind of jumped in, and she's actually doing the best she can, and the best thing she can do is to help other people get to her level, and so that's what we're striving to do. I think is trying to get people to diamond, including myself.
Awesome. And Rod, you're really good about scheduling out your day and scheduling out your posts to where it doesn't take you as long to do things. And that's one thing I'll say, depending on where you are in the company, your day is going to look totally different than where it's going to be when you're Ruby or Senior Ruby or Emerald. By that time, you're going to have a bigger team to take care of. But we should never stop, prospecting people. We should never stop trying to grow our team. And it's really easy to get into management mode. It's easy for me to do it. I have a really big team to take care of, but I'm still prospecting people because I still want to grow wide, and I want to help people. I see people on Facebook that are struggling health and financial wise, and I want to reach as many people as I possibly can. So it's fun for me. I really want to do this, so it's not a sacrifice to me. But I know Rod is really good at organization and better at time management than I am. That's why I wanted you to hear from him. But your day and your schedule will look a lot different depending on where you are in your business and also what your goals are. I mean, like if you're going to do something like Rod was talking about, momentum, and you want to do like the Eric Worre Go Pro in 90 days or 30 days and do it like that, your day's going to look much different. Your level of sacrifice is going to totally tell what your success is going to be. I mean, it's just like it's so true that what do they say that if you do hobby time, you're going to get hobby pay, and if you do career time, you're going to get career pay. It's all about how much you're willing to sacrifice. I know some people don't have. The other thing I was going to say earlier is that there's a diamond. I don't know if everybody knows this, but there's a diamond that has 12 kids that she homeschools. And, she must be really, really good at time management because she did it. And there's people that are work full time, a lot of hours that are jewels, and they want to continue working their jobs for whatever reason they have. They have a passion with that, or they're teachers or whatever. They have really good organization and they have really good time management. But first of all, if anyone is succeeding in your company, there is no reason why you can't succeed too. And if anybody's succeeding in your company that has a full-time job, there's no reason why you can't do it with a full-time job or little kids or 12 kids or homeschooling. There is always going to be somebody more busy than you that has succeeded. And so that excuse needs to go. It needs to go. I like I said, I know there are people that are more busy than I am, and they have a lot more obligations than I do. But there's a lot of people that do, and they're successful. So me seeing that as a diamond, I see jewels and diamonds that manage their time really well, and they do it with very, very busy lives. So when somebody tells me they don't have time, but they really want to succeed, I'm like, no, you've got to let go of that excuse, because once you get organized and you do this right, you can do this no matter how busy you are. You just have to fit it into your day, and that's duplicatable. If you can do that with a full-time job, just think of the impact that you can have on somebody else with a full-time job, because you know exactly how to tell them how to do it now. You've done it. So when they come to you and say, I don't have time, you're like, sorry, I'm not accepting that, because I didn't have time either. That's the best thing you can say to somebody, regardless of their objection. If they say I can't afford it, I couldn't afford it either, girl, but I got 3 people to buy it from me, and then my products were free. I don't have time for this. I didn't have time for this either, girl, but I made it work. I worked a full-time job and I had little kids, but I did it, and you can too. Just think what kind of impact you can have on people if you overcome that. So
Hey,
you have
Jan,
to get rid of that excuse.
the one thing I want to add that I'm starting to do with my team because they asked for it, and I've also encouraged it for myself. But if you have people on your team, or just it could be a fellow ambassador if you don't have a team yet, is to have an accountability partner. It's somebody on your team that is going to ask you, what did you do today, or what did you do yesterday, or in relation to Plexus and your business. And because if somebody tells you, hey, I'm going to go silver this month, then you can hold them accountable and say, okay, what did you do today to get to silver? And if their scheduled calendar's blank, or they haven't, then you need to say, well, you got to shift gears and do something else. Or anyway, I got members of my team that I'm holding them as accountable. They're holding me, and I think it's very beneficial. And if somebody wants me, or I'll use another person, but just I think it's a good tip.
Okay, Rod, when you logged on, you took the question and answers away, so you're going to have to look and see if there's any questions.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Okay, we only have a few minutes because I need to be done in a few minutes, so go ahead.
Sure. Where did you get your calendar, Jana?
I got my calendar at Target. No, actually, I got the calendar that I'm using right now at Walmart. They have lots of neat calendars at different places that you can get all fancy and everything, but my calendar is very inexpensive, and it's just one that's a spiral, and it shows all the days of the month, and then if you turn the page, it shows you each daily a glimpse of your day, so that you can write in there what you want to do each day.
Right. And okay. And there's also online calendars that you can use that you can tie to your phone. So if you don't want to buy one, you can actually use one of those as long as you use it. The other question is, how important is it to have a smartphone to be able to work your business conveniently?
That depends if you're doing your business on Facebook or any other social media, which, I really don't know anybody that's been successful that isn't, with Plexus anyway, that isn't. I'm sure it's possible. You would have to do a lot more phone calls. You'd have to do a lot more in-person meetings. Would be hard to be, with our thing, we're duplicatable, but we're doing it online. My opinion is yes, I would say that you do need a smartphone, but I'm sure it can be done without one. You'd have to do it a whole different way than what we're doing it, though. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay. Also, somebody they want to get some members to share their photos of their planners. So if y'all want to do that in the Rockin group and post it under the meeting or something, go ahead and do that. That way you can post where everybody can find it. Nikki's asking about what are the 5 categories that we should rotate on our posts. That's what you had covered earlier. I think you gave 5 examples.
The categories, oh, okay. Well, it's examples, and these are just mine. Would be faith, your relationship with your spouse, your kids, your hobby, and then your business.
Yeah.
So those are the 5 that I would do.
And I like to add on those, if you can do a message that has nothing to do to Plexus, but if you're wearing a Plexus shirt and you just be talking about something that you're in a picture in, and you have your Plexus, you don't even have to say Plexus, but you're promoting your business.
Yes, I will say that I try to intertwine almost everything. There are a few things that I will post that don't have anything to do, and all you guys can follow me on Facebook. Just click follow, and you can follow my all the stuff that I do. Plexus wise is public, and you can follow my stuff. But you'll see if you look on my Facebook posts, you'll see that almost everything I do, I find a way to tie it into Plexus somehow.
Okay. Let's see. That's about it. There's some other questions that maybe we can answer these in the group because they're going to take a lot more time and they're not really on topic.
Somebody is asking how late is it? When is it too late to contact customers? You know, I think it depends if you're emailing them or if you're private messaging them. I don't think there's a time. I mean, if you ever got somebody say this is too late to contact me, then I wouldn't do it anymore. But most people turn their phones off, especially for Facebook messages at night. I've never ever messaged anybody, and I'm up late, like Rob said, so I've messaged people at 1 o'clock in the morning before, and I've never had anybody. Most people don't even respond. You can tell they don't even see it because they've already turned their phone off. So I don't know. I don't think that would be a problem for most people. So if that is the last question that we have, we will go ahead. And in the group, I'm about to post my contest. It's a little man with a trophy. And when I post that, if you will put the code word Vegas, because I want everyone to go to Vegas. I hope you have already registered. We're going to do the contest for that shortly, and this probably tomorrow. And then we're going to go to another contest of getting people registered. So this contest, if you will put Vegas, and then put what you learned in this call, what you took away from this call, and put Vegas. After I post it, I'm about to post it as soon as we're done here. And then in that same post, if you would like to post a picture of your planner, that would be really helpful for people who are asking. If you want to post a picture of the front of it or the calendar, whatever you want to post to show people, that would be really great. But please, yes, register for convention, and the code word is Vegas. So I'm going to stop recording now. Thank you all for coming to the call. I really appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon. Hopefully we'll have another call really, really soon. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.